I want you to imagine for a second your comfort zone as a prison cell where the door is wide open, but you're too scared to walk through it. Imagine in the same vein you setting an alarm in the morning only to find yourself hitting snooze yet again and feeling guilty before you even roll out of bed in the morning. That's exactly what's happening when you feel stuck. Your brain has convinced you that staying in a familiar pain is safer than risking unknown success. Psychology studies show people choose familiar pain over uncertainty because it offers what researchers call ontological security, which is the comfort of knowing what to expect, even when it hurts. Side note, this is why we stay in shitty relationships. The comfort of being in that relationship, when you see people doing that, it's just familiar to them. It's familiar to us, even if it's painful. Anyway, every time you think about making a change, your mind warns you of worst case outcomes. But here's the thing, growth demands discomfort, and the discomfort you're avoiding is actually the pathway to everything that you want. That is why we stay stuck. Hey everyone, it's Jay with Life Next Level, your go-to channel for motivation, personal growth, and your chance to thrive in life. Finally finding that missing piece of happiness that we're all chasing. Today, we're laying the foundation for what is going to be an epic series about helping you get unstuck and to go from unstuck to thriving. Of course, there's a lot in between, a lot that has to happen between those two states. But we're going to walk through it step by step, video by video. And today, we're going to talk about why you're stuck and why you stay stuck, and talk about how to finally begin moving on from that state. We'll tackle next steps more in the next video, but for now, it's just really important to understand why this is happening to you and how to start clearing it out. Because if you're anything like me, you've been stuck for a long time and you're not happy, but you're not growing either. And you just, every time you get excited about it, you start moving forward and then back to stuck. And then you feel shitty again and you have to start over. And it's this vicious cycle, right? So you want to get through this? Remember to hit that subscribe button. We're going to be talking about this for a while. We're going to help you grow weekly, go from unstuck to thriving. Sometimes we'll do multiple videos per week. So let's grow together. And now we're going to discuss your brain's secret identity prison. The root cause lies in something called self-concept inertia. Do you ever notice how you can want to change desperately, but somehow you keep doing the exact same things? It's that cycle we just talked about. You can set the alarm to get up early, you buy the gym membership, you write the business plan, whatever it may be. Then week after week, you hit snooze, you skip the workout, you leave your plan sitting on your desk. Honestly, it seems like it's about willpower and you beat yourself up, but it's not about willpower. Research calls self-concept inertia like physical inertia. Your brain resists identity change unless acted on by a strong force. You have this mental picture of who you are. Maybe you see yourself as someone who's not good with money, or someone who's shy, or someone who just isn't athletic. Let me give you an example. Say you've always told yourself you're not a morning person. You've said it so many times that it's become part of your identity. This is a rather simple and high-level example, but that's all right. And now you want to wake up early and work on side business, on a side business or get a workout in. But every morning your brain sabotages you. It makes you extra tired. It reminds you how comfortable your bed is. It floods you with thoughts of how you're never going to do anything in the morning. When you start changing, they might even resist it because your growth makes them uncomfortable about their own lives. They're not trying to make it uncomfortable for you, but it happens. Here's the wild part. Familiar pain actually feels safer than unknown success. Think about it like this. You know exactly how your current problems feel. You've lived with them for years, but success, that's scary territory, man. Like, what if you can't handle it? What comes next? What if people expect more from you? What if you lose it all? Your brain would rather stick to the devil it knows. This is called identity protective cognition. Your mind automatically rejects any information that challenges how you see yourself, even if it's deep down and not surface level. If someone tells you that you could be successful and you see yourself as someone who often fails, your brain will find every reason to prove them wrong. It's all this subconscious stuff. These identity blocks didn't just appear out of nowhere, though. They got programmed into you at a very specific time in your life. So let's talk about the childhood programming that controls your adult life. Between the ages of 3 and 7 or so, your young brain absorbed experiences as permanent beliefs about yourself in the world. Psychologists note core beliefs cement by age 7 when the brain's narrative identity takes shape. Those limiting beliefs, they are now limiting beliefs you've formed during this critical window, become unconscious drivers for every major decision you make as an adult. Isn't that freaking crazy? Your parents' words, your teachers' reactions, how other kids treated you, all of it got programmed into your basic understanding of what's possible for you. Adverse childhood experiences create specific coping mechanisms that follow you into adulthood. Maybe you learn to be a people pleaser because that's how you survived family conflict. Maybe you started seeking external validation because you just never felt good enough at home. Here's really the thing about childhood experiences. Positive ones create lasting confidence, but negative ones plant seeds of self-doubt that can grow for decades, continue to grow. A teacher who believed in you might have programmed confidence into your identity, which is great. But a parent who criticized you constantly might have programmed the belief that you're just never good enough. And that stays with you. And unfortunately, we have more negative than positive when we're kids. Nobody really realized or realizes even today how much you're impacted how much you impact a child. The neurological reality is intense for all this stuff. The emotionally charged events from childhood literally rewire your brain's default patterns. Studies show that critical messages literally strengthen doubt pathways in your brain. If you heard, "You're not smart enough," over and over, your brain created pathways that make you doubt your intelligence automatically, without even thinking about it logically, right? It's all subconscious. The most common limiting beliefs sound familiar to almost everyone, though. These are like high level, but I'm not good enough. Success is for other people. I don't deserve happiness. These core beliefs about worthiness, capability, and deserving success get programmed early and then run silently in the background of your adult life, like a program in a computer. So you can start identifying your own childhood programming by asking yourself some simple questions. Now, this may not be easy because you have to really come to terms with yourself through exercises like these. That's why the foundation of growing, if you want to get to a place where you're thriving, really understanding and even building up to this foundational period, this foundational area, it takes, like right now down here, I can't even get in the camera down here. And to get to the foundation, we have to get unstuck first. And then we can start building these foundational habits for success. And then up here is thriving. Right? So there's a lot of work to be done. And that's because these things have been stuck with us for years and potentially decades. And they, as we'll talk about, they create a well-worn path that's very easy for us to fall into. So you can start, though, by asking yourself some simple questions. As I always say, I love to have a notebook around. So when you write stuff down, it sticks more, means more. It's like journaling. So if you do, awesome. But here's just some simple questions you can ask. What did your parents say about money when you were growing up? How did they react when you made mistakes? What messages did you get about your abilities? The answers, when you start to ask these, reveal the programming that's still running in your life today. Think about the areas where you feel the most stuck in life. Usually there's a childhood belief underneath it. If you can't seem to make more money, maybe at some point you learned money is evil, or more realistically, rich people are bad. Rich people suck. If you struggle with relationships, maybe you learn that people always leave or that love hurts. These beliefs about worthiness, capability, and deserving success are the invisible chains that keep you trapped in the same patterns day after day, month after month, and year after year. They're not facts about you. They're just old programming from when you were too young to question what adults told you. And that shit just stays with you. But sometimes the thing you think is helping you break free is actually making everything worse. And that's what we're going to talk about right now with the validation trap that keeps you frozen. The very thing that you think is helping you connect with others could actually be keeping you completely stuck. You bend yourself into a pretzel shapes, trying to make everyone around you happy. You say yes when you mean no. You hold back your real opinions. You think that this makes you a good person, but it's actually a form of control that backfires spectacularly. Here's what's really happening. When you constantly seek approval from others, you're trying to control their thoughts about you. You are resisting their independence. This concept, which is coined by psychoanalyst Melanie Klein, describes resisting others' separateness. You want them to see you a certain way, and you'll twist yourself into knots to make that happen. And this creates emotional prison bars around your life. Every decision becomes about what others will think instead of what you actually think about yourself. I did a video, and I think there's like some articles about it. FOPO. This falls right in line with that. I should have another video about that specifically out there. But, like, should you take that dream job across the country? What does your mind jump to? It immediately jumps to what your parents will say instead of what you actually want. You're not making authentic choices. You're making choices based on imaginary approval from other people. The cycle is freaking exhausting. I've been there, man. You please others, you lose yourself, and then you resent others, and then you repeat it endlessly. You give and give and give until you're empty, and then you wonder why you feel frustrated and angry all the time. You create one-sided relationships where you consistently give more than you receive. You feel taken advantage of and underappreciated, maybe more subconsciously, but you do, but you can't stop doing it either. Studies show self-verification drives us to prioritize others' views, causing emotional ups and downs. If someone compliments you, you're on top of the world. If they criticize you, you crash. Your self-worth bounces around like a ping pong ball based on whatever happened in your last conversation. You're handed control of your emotional state to everyone around you. Here's the paradox that will blow your mind. Chasing approval feels productive, but actually distracts you from real decisions and traps your true goals on the shelf. You can't control what people think, but you exhaust yourself trying. Meanwhile, your real dreams just sit there collecting dust, like always, because you're too busy managing everyone else's feelings about you. And this relentless pursuit of approval comes at the expense of your vision and your values and your future. You lose touch with your true self and unique perspectives. Your creativity dies because you're too afraid to express anything that might get criticized at all. You end up living someone else's life instead of your own. When you're trapped in the validation cycle, that stuck feeling becomes permanent because you can't make authentic decisions. You're waiting for permission that will never come. But what if there's a completely different way to look at being stuck? And this, in conclusion of this video, here's the final revelation that will change everything for you. Sometimes the key to getting unstuck isn't fighting the feeling, but surrendering to it and using it as a time for self-discovery. Stop treating stuck as the enemy. It's actually your inner wisdom telling you to pause, take a step back, and start to figure things out in your life. This week, write down a belief and ask, when did I first hear this belief? And take one small action outside of your comfort zone. Start journaling to practice self-awareness and catch those old patterns before they catch you. And I always love journaling. I always love having a notebook, so I highly recommend that. But stuck moments literally signal your brain's warning that it's safe to pause, reflect, and grow. So that's what I want you to take away from this. The question is, are you ready to listen? Hey, if this resonated with you, share one childhood belief that you'll question in the comments. Share it with a friend if they need it. We're going to keep building on this. We're going to build up your foundation, my foundation. I'm coming right along with you. And we'll create a community of accountability here throughout this. And stay tuned for our next videos where we're going to discuss more in depth how your limiting beliefs are trapping you, more on some of this stuff, on why you're stuck and how to start getting out of it. And then we're getting the foundation, and eventually we're all going to be thriving together. It's going to be an awesome journey. So I appreciate you tuning in. Again, hit that subscribe button. A lot of awesome information coming your way. Have a great day. I appreciate you.